of February 2025, the president highlighted plans for the Black Star Experience, a flagship initiative aimed at positioning Ghana at the forefront of tourism in Africa and also in the diaspora. However, nothing related to this was included in the budget. And we listen, son, we don't hear. Kwame does it listen, play the thing back. He drag them for YouTube. He drag the thing back.
Draft. I have a way of doing stories like that. I will do a draft. When they announce it, I would take it small and then I'll publish. So I'll always be the first person to publish. Shit.
The guy had his mouse on the YouTube time like this. He was dragging it back and forth. I don't know.
And then the draft time is, on can be publishing fast.
Well, but you know, there's something which benefit the creative arts.
Don't worry. There's a big difference. Let me finish the story. There's a big difference compared to the previous years where funds were allocated. In the 2023 fiscal year, the Ghana Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture was allocated 115 million, right? It's supposed to be million.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Some are even in billions. Some allocations are in billions.
In billions.
Yeah.
This is 260,000 million.
Hey.
Yeah.
Right, Satabando come inside. 50,000 million.
260 million. Yes, thereabout. Yeah. It was given to the ministry in 2024. As compared to 115 million to 260 million.
And
this year, nothing there.
It comes nothing.
Dash.
Just that it's not out, but something there. You know, budget is supposed to factor all the ministries because no ministry will not do anything.
So where is yours?
For the year? Definitely. I mean, they will do an extension. That's where they do the debate in Parliament, where sector by sector, I mean, they look at whatever allocations have been made to the sector and whether those allocations make sense. Because, you know, the Parliament need to pass the appropriation bill, which will now mean that they can go and do the drawdowns and others. So, certainly, the ministry cannot be there without funds. So, every ministry will get a fund. Just that it is not out. So, maybe the ministry can publish some of the allocation which has been made to them on their platform for us to know what exactly it is. Because if you look at this budget, the budget's made some allocations, about 19 allocations to some sectors and programs. And if you look at the programs, you clearly see that these are programs the government is so interested about because it was in their manifesto. So the Black Star Experience being one of those, I was expecting that I'll see it as part of the 19 allocations they've made. Unfortunately, I didn't see that because the big push, the women's hospital, women's bank, the agric, there's so many things they said in the manifesto which allocations have been made to. So seeing the Black Star Experience as part of the 120-day promise, social contract with the people, I thought maybe it will be under the allocations to sectors and programs. But that notwithstanding, I think we need to be made known what allocation has been made to the ministry and for what, so that it will enhance our discussions. I mean, like the minister said during the budget presentation, he says that he wants to depart from the normal, where the finance minister has to give the breakdown of what goes to every ministry. He wants the sector ministers for those ministry specific to come and speak to whatever is happening in their sector regarding their allocations. So it's like this minister wants to move away from that departure. And if you realize, yesterday's budget reading was very short, unlike, before. So it behoves the sector ministers to, defend those things in Parliament.
No, I'm a little bit confused here. School me on
Yeah.
it. Isn't the finance ministry supposed to let us know the budget that has been allocated, and then if there's supposed to be a form of further engagement, maybe that should be done by the sector minister?
Normally, not the presentation of the budget. The budget.
The budget.
the
think
Constitution.
The holistic thing has to be done by the finance minister.
When it comes to the budget presentation, it is by law. This one, even the finance minister is doing it on behalf of the president. Mm-hmm. So, the budget presentation is by the finance minister. But no finance minister goes into details in all the ministries. Mm-hmm. Even if they will do at time, they will mention like certain lines.
Yes.
Budget lines. Oh, this. But they don't go into details.
Exactly.
So, this man is saying that some of the things he wants the sector ministers to speak to.
Exactly.
And
so I understand that part. So it would have been a bit clearer if the minister made mention of the fact that, let's say, for the fiscal year, the 2025 fiscal year, they're supposed to, we've allocated, let's say, 2 cities for the creative arts and tourism, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the minister subsequently would come and address or speak to whatever the amount of money will be used for. I think that would be...
Yeah, that's
we don't...
your suggestion.
Yeah.
But I think there's a big book, a book.
It's a 69-page document.
No, this one, the 69, there be what's
an
the abridged one, it can but a book, every... there was a details breakdown. But this is one thing too, when going through the budgets. Yesterday I read through and I found something which I thought it answers some of the things we've talked about here on this platform. Because yesterday, there were a lot of administrative reforms the minister pointed they want to make some reforms to. And one of the areas which I think is very crucial to creative art event organizers and others we've talked about here is the VAT reforms. And this is what he said from page 166 downwards. He said, Mr. Speaker, we commit to the people of Ghana and the business community that we will undertake comprehensive value-added tax VAT reforms this year with the aim to review the current distortion and cascading structure of VAT regime. Ghana's effective VAT rate is about 22%. This is because Get Fund levy of 2.5%, National Health Insurance levy of 2.5%, and COVID-19 levy of 1% are all added to the base for the final determination of the VAT rate of 15, which makes it 22. Mr. Speaker, aside the high VAT rate, which we've been talking about, the businesses are not permitted by law to claim their input for the NHIL, Get Fund, and COVID levy, compounding the burden on household. Mr. Speaker, our VAT regime has been distorted and rendered inefficient. It combines both VAT and sales tax principles with a flat standard rate and levies. We have requested technical assistance from the Fiscal Affairs Department of IMF on VAT reforms. It is expected that the IMF mission will commence in April 2025. The recommendations from the Technical Assistance Mission are expected to inform our VAT reforms. Mr. Speaker, ahead of the IMF Technical Assistance Mission, I will inaugurate a VAT reform task force to hold broad consultation with key stakeholders for their inputs. Then finally, he says that the parameters for the VAT reforms, which will be completed this year, will include abolishing COVID-19 levy, reversing the decoupling Get Fund and NHR from VAT, reducing effective VAT rates from household and businesses, and other things. And I think that it's a conversation we've had here before where we talk about, there is a need to relook at our tax system when people are doing events, among other things. I think that as part of the consultation, the creative people should show interest and ensure that they are ahead. If they can meet and have some proposal in terms of this thing, because when you sit for reforms to take place, before you come and talk, you contem. So this is the time that we also need to ensure that some of our concerns, because clearly they want to decouple the NHIL and the COVID-19, the Get Fund, which are added to already. This thing is gone. The COVID 1% is gone. Mm-hmm. So, which I think the Parliament will have to approve, because they have to send on a bill to Parliament for it to be approved. Then we need to ensure that our concerns with regards to how the tax arrangements are made on some of the creative arts events are looked into, so that at the end of the day, we can also have some sort of in honoring our tax obligations. Because I think this is good. The tax reforms is good. We need to ensure that we are efficient in our collection of tax, but we shouldn't burden people too much with a lot of things.
Okay. Robert, I don't know if you monitored the budget yesterday and your impression of it with respect to the Creative Arts and Tourism Ministry.
I think that Kwame posted something on
our page,
which talks about the strategy they are using. So in terms of budgeting, let's get into the heart of what budgeting is. Budgeting is not just what you want to spend. It's also about what is supposed to come in. So when we say budget, you are looking at both income and expenditure. And then for each one of them, there are elements that you can break down into. So if the approach, so based on what he shared, the approach is that they may have key areas where they are saying this is how much money we are spending. But then again, we can also use a bottom-up approach, which is you going into the system and saying, look, I'm responsible for this particular department or this particular ministry, based on my assessments, based on key areas, based on the things that we mentioned that we are going to do. When you put all of the elements together, this is what the cost comes to. This is what I think I'm also going to generate. So, for example, if you put GTA's activities and everything together, if you give them X amount of money, this is what they're also expecting to be able to bring in. So you can use all of these elements as basis and create your budget and go and present before the people responsible for the purse. You know, one of the functions of Parliament is to manage the public purse. So they are supposed to approve, you know, what's supposed to be spent and that kind of stuff. So to allow them to function in this particular way, and also to make people responsible for whatever actions they are taking and every penny that comes in, you can also allow them. And I think businesses do that. You have different departments in various businesses that towards the end of the year, they get into the woodworks to be able to, you know, cough out clearly how much money they want to bring in over the next phase and how much they are going to spend to be able to achieve that. So if that is the opportunity given, then what it means is that they are not using the top-down approach. The top-down approach can be like, oh, this is how much, we are giving you 10 cities, go and spend it. And then you have to figure it out. You understand? But if they are being given the opportunity to come with a clear business case that says, okay, this is what you want to do in the year. This is how much it's going to cost you, and you feel the impact of these things is going to translate into X amount of income. You come and make a case, then you are giving the money for it. If that is the approach, then that's also nice, because that's what the bottom-up approach. There are other forms of approach that we have, like they have the incremental. So the incremental budgeting is when you start off from the previous. So last year, what was the budget that was used? And then you say, okay, so these are specific key areas. And so these key areas, because of inflation and all of that, you adjust it. We want to do 5 or 6 more things. So you put it all together and say, okay, so last year we did this. I'm adding 5, 6, 7, 8. And so this is the new budget. That kind of stuff. So that's it. Or you can do your zero-based. The zero-based is like you're going from ground zero. And then you are saying, okay, so this is what I want to do. Let's forget about yesterday, what happened. And in this particular case, you could say that you probably want to go from ground zero because there are new people in the space. And then say, okay, this is what we want to do. Obviously, your key lessons from whatever they have done, but this is what you want to do. And then make a business case for it. If that is a task, then there's some liking in that particular space. It means it's not like I'm coming to give you money and then you're going to think of how to spend it. Come and justify to us
Tell us what you want to do.
Tell us what you want to do.
How
Tell
much
us
do you need?
How much you need, and tell us how much it is going to generate, both financially and impact-wise. Let's know, and then you make your case. And when you make your case, based on the case you've made, we give you the money. If that's how it's going, I think it's also a sweet one, and there's nothing wrong with that, and because it's an approach that at the end of the day can yield some form of benefit. So let's encourage it. I think businesses do it a lot, and so basically we can also learn from that. So it's not. I don't think it's a bad approach. It's just one of the schools of thought, and in this particular case, it just gives the power to us to be able to explore or focus on specific areas of interest that we can justify.
Kwame.
So prior to this discussion this morning, yesterday, somebody posted under my post on Facebook. It was like, art and culture, tourism has not been captured by the Ministry of Finance and you are quiet. Nobody's talking about it from your side. And I was like, so you see, most times people in this industry want you to come out and complain. Because they think, as for creatives, they're complaining too much because your name wasn't mentioned in the budget and no amount of money was said to be allocated to you. You should come out and write something on Facebook. Hey, why are we missing in the budget? But I needed to also understand things better. So I even reached out to some people from different fields. Sports wasn't captured as well. Have they complained that they've not been captured?
No. Budget day, my budget day.
Have they complained that they've been snapped? So I don't think it's a matter of being snapped or not being captured. It's about understanding how they are operating this time around as government. And clearly, as stated in the story that we read, what the finance minister said, the approach now is quite different. And so I think we should go by that. The fact that we were not mentioned during the presentation that a certain amount of money will be given to us doesn't mean that the government isn't going to invest in our sector in this year. So let's just look forward to the new approach, how this pans out, and how much in the end we're going to get from that. Robert said it's not only about how much we'll be giving to the sector, but it's also how much we are giving out. Gigo, garbage in, garbage out. How much are we also giving out after we've received from government? And it tells us that the industry we're in is business oriented. It's not just about always taking in money and not giving out. Some time ago, when we had the very first budgetary allocation, which was given to the music sector, where we had some 2 million Ghana cedis that was invested, if you like, in various things like research and Ghana Music Week celebration and institutional strengthening for music. We all heard the noise about it. Some people thought, even though that was something that was required of them by the finance minister then, they needed to have data before they could take off. People thought it wasn't the right investment. People thought they could have maybe put that money into something more profitable. You see, and there were some musical people who also thought that. Now you know how people think in this industry. People meet people in high office, and all they need from them is to be giving money. Come and share cars for us to drive in. So that is the mentality. So I am saying that if this is the new approach, and it is because they want to also make sure the monies that will be given to the ministry or our sector will also yield some results, then I think there is much work to be done as a Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Art. It's not only taking from government, but making sure whatever we take also becomes beneficial to the country.
Okay, still on Daybreak Hits here on Hits FM 103.9. We're having a good look at Showbiz Review, and this morning we're talking about the Creative Arts Ministry. Yesterday's budget being read in Parliament by Minister of Finance, Dr. Kesia Atueford. We saw
I always also
Yes. I saw no mention of the allocation of funds into the Creative Arts Ministry, and Charlie, people heat up small for social media inside Charlie. Won't know, say Charlie, Black Star experience also.
You know, that approach is is
You believe it's the best?
No, I believe it's like, it's something. See, because you see, you're giving power to the people within the space, and you're projecting elements of accountability and responsibility. So we have Black Star Experience. Year one, what are you going to do?
Good.
Oh, well, year one, I'm going to have stakeholder engagements. I'm going to work together with private sector to understand how many people we have within the space who can do the culinary stuff, the fashion, that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's your year one. You're going to, so give us the plan. Now, how much is it going to cost you? So that's not like, oh, Black Star Experience, take 3 billion and go and work on Black Star Experience. And the money, no, because money no day. So come and explain to us what the plan is and how you intend to achieve it and the cost components. And when you have done this, what are you expecting at the end of the day, financially and impact-wise? Let us know.
Okay.
And that is your solid justification for why the government should take scarce resources and give to you.
I'm thinking, Robert, with this approach, knowing perfectly that we have limited resources, especially finance or money being a scarce resource, wouldn't it be a little bit more tedious running a process like this? Because now there's going to be a lot of back and forth in Parliament. Whether you explain, when the minister gets to the Parliament to put together or deliver his or her budget for the year, Parliament definitely will have to go through it and approve, right?
Would it be the entire Parliament or the committees on finance?
Exactly. So now, is it going to go through? Is it Parliament or is it going to go through Cabinet or what? How is the process going?
I'm sure the process will be figured out. We don't have the answer.
But because I believe it's going to be a lot of back and forth, looking at the time of the government is taking off. Because if you are looking at the fiscal year being, I don't even know. School me a little bit on it. Because is it supposed to be 1st January to 31st?
No,
December?
the government which passed a budget
that's the
for the first quarter.
Okay.
So this government is continuing
from the second quarter.
Yeah. So this, what we use from January to now was what was passed by the previous government.
Okay.
So this government is now continuing
from the second.
Yeah, but all the things.
Second quarter hasn't started yet.
Yes. Yeah, but it will move from. Yeah. So before they start all the other sectors they mentioned, they are not going to get their money straight away. Parliament will have to scrutinize this before they pass it. And if they pass it, even if they pass it, see, the interesting thing is that at times if they pass, whatever they've said there is like audio. The drawdowns to is even different. Because they can say they are giving you 2 million. And you end up get the 2 million, the drawdown where you get will be like maybe 1 million. So it's not even always that you get whatever has been allocated to you. That allocation there is allocated. But the drawdown is also another matter. I mean,
it's an intention to do.
Yeah, there are a lot of examples to see that whatever has not all the time that you get your full allocation. So definitely there is something for the ministry, and it will be discussed at length in Parliament for the debates and other things.
Okay.
And for the Black Star, something also was going on in my mind. This Black Star experience, are they done with the whole plan?
Oh, definitely.
To say, okay, then it will cost us this and
definitely. Once it's in there, once it was in their manifesto.
Because 120 they bet me up say on the 120th day. And because 120 day I be 60 and I say 70 baby and into every home. So like
I have a feeling
the
this
120
Black Star experience
the plan is not
entails a lot.
Yeah. Because they want
very
to
sure they're still putting things together.
Yeah.
And because we are in March already, we're not able to do full year per their plan. Maybe if it is launched in, let's say, June, we're going to do maybe half of the year.
Yeah, definitely.
Or even, for all you know, it will start next year. You never know.
Yeah, but I think that what they are doing now is probably, maybe if they have not declared it officially launched, however, the activities they are doing are still in line. So
subtly.
Yeah, exactly. Once you've said Heritage Month, you are in that particular space. Because
But
Heritage Month is
there's
supposed to
always
speak to-
been that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Heritage Month it's always been there,
Yeah.
and you are continuing. That's nice. So next month we want to know what the theme is, and then the month after that we also want to know what the theme is. So I believe for every project you have to be clear on how you want to start it. So you have to have your strategy for start. So once you enter into the space, you're like, okay, this is how I'm going to start it, and you engage the people. Over the period, you should be able to put things in place. But I think they should have a starting point that says, look, officially declared launch, this is the roadmap, this is how we are going to do it.
Yeah.
We shared this with you, but this is the actual execution plan. Yeah, so that people within the space can also own their stake in terms of contribution to the projects. Like I've said, and I always keep saying, nobody must be allowed to fail.
Nobody must be allowed to
We
fail.
must be Charlie, because the failure, when you fail, when it comes to us, it's not a matter of somebody out there being given power to do anything. How many are they? Count them. They are less than 1% of the population of this country. You understand? So we cannot. It is for our own good to ensure that we allow these people to succeed. Probity and accountability.
But likely, I think it will start in earnest next year. Honestly, proper.
It will take proper shape.
Yes.
It'll take off. Wow.
Yeah.
But
Even if it's going to start next year,
Boo.
it should be launched with
This year.
plans and everything
I agree.
this year. And then everything we've been doing, they should capitalize on that. So I like the fact that you're capitalizing on the Heritage Month because it's been running. And all of a sudden, you can see that some key activities have been added to or are now part of
Sure.
the interest of GTA. And so that's good. Like all these, these activities.
It will be a build-up.
They should build up. Yeah.
the other conversation associated to this would be what Bulldog was saying about the election and the time that we use for our election. I think he was of the view that it should be a little bit earlier if we are looking at some of these things which are as a result of the fact that we held our elections
planning
in
and
the last month of the year,
December.
and then it leaves little time for transition of government and also for policies of the next government to also
With Black Star experience, that whole notion will be defeated because previously the whole action was centered around December. Okay, and so his disappointment was that we could not have enough of our showbiz creative
Yes.
activity within that time.
Yes.
But this time we have Black Star experience, which is a year-long celebration.
which is
So which month are you going to sacrifice?
and also and also another information.
So whichever month you want to sacrifice will
the
be
end of the-
affected anyway.
yeah.
So
But
Maybe-
but big ups to the people within the space, because regardless of whatever happened last year, we still had the December
Yeah, we
elections
had it.
happening.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
understand the hair, and you can't say that because of new political appointments, the people who were actually on ground, hands on, have all left the GTA. No, yeah, you understand? They're
and
still
it's
there.
once every 4 years. Once
Every
every
4
4
years.
years. A certain month will be affected in a way. So no matter what you do, whether you want to change it from December to November, if you move it to November, if there is an event, a calendar event in November,
Definitely.
it will be affected.
Definitely will be affected. Anyway,
Mm,
Adam,
Yeah. I think the Chroma is
Chroma is-
I mean, Chroma is.
Chroma is-
You know, check social media yesterday.
What's happening?
The betting tax issue.
And the confusion.
CNG betting tax.
I think it's a
and
different
this
topic
morning
for
I'm hearing
discussion.
Patrick Boama saying we are sorry because the thing is that you have collected
It was communication problem.
you've collected betting tax, whether it was sports betting or
Nkurɔfoɔ
betting.
feel on bottom say
Yes.
see what
Because the thing is that the tax is not betting tax. Because even if you listen to the finance minister, he said lottery wins,
Yes.
otherwise known as betting tax.
Yes.
There was a 2023 Income Tax Amendment Act, and that Income Tax Amendment Act imposed a 10% withholding tax on lottery winnings. And if you check the law categorizes the lottery wins they are taxing.
Yeah.
And that lottery win had what we call sports betting.
And then casinos, route
Yeah,
operations, remote
so
interactive games.
in all of this, it will interest you to know that it was the sports betting which was really implemented.
Yeah.
It was why the GRE in 2023, October said they have raked in about 15 million cities from
Yes.
the sports
and
betting.
20 million from what?
Yes, and even
And
in
20
all-
million from what? There's another part of it that is with the lottery.
Yes.
I mean, the challenges that they were facing was with respect to the unauthorized small
Yeah,
lotto
yeah,
agents.
yeah, yeah.
That
So-
is where they were finding it difficult to.
So the thing be that even Oka, what they made in 2020, 2023 and 20, they have made about, and 2024, they've made about 2 million from they've made beyond excess of that 200 million or so from that side. So whether there was no betting, the betting tax was not implemented. Sports betting was taxed as part of the lottery wins. Into investors, they lose 10%. In that. That's a boom for like.
So let me ask
Eh,
you.
yes,
So,
semantics.
don't worry. So who is Patrick Bama?
He's an MP for MP.
Okaikwe Central.
But why is he relevant to this conversation?
No, I said he has this morning. I mean, on an interview, he said like we are sorry because
Sorry for what?
the whole
Dr. Means press
Yeah,
conference.
because
Who's Dr. Amin?
Dr. Means also
he's a
MPP,
former
yeah.
finance minister.
Well,
No,
he
the
had
thing
a
is-
press conference.
Yes,
just
yes.
after that, he said they didn't implement and collect any betting tax. So why is the present government saying they are
I'm
abolishing?
confused, but everything you said meant that they collected.
Yes, but what he's trying
A
to
former
say,
finance minister.
he wants to say there was no tax like betting tax.
I don't get it.
You
So,
see,
so there was
they passed the
tax.
betting. No, they passed the betting tax. in
But you know
2014.
you not get it.
No. I just want to
After-
understand.
so betting
Wait.
tax
So
was
wait.
passed.
So it was passed.
But it wasn't implemented.
It wasn't implemented.
Yes.
So then how do people collect money?
However, sports betting was taxed in an income tax amendment act, which was amending our income tax 2015.
Communication.
So
He didn't communicate his thoughts well.
in the amendment of taxing lottery wins, as part of it, they tax sports betting
So there was a tax element,
on sports
and
betting.
the revenues were collected.
Yes,
So- and
which
it's-
is
and it's
different
there.
from the sport betting tax, which was not implemented. But Yajini Paniska,
Which one was Bawumia campaigning that he was scrapped?
sports betting? Yeah.
The one which has been cancelled now.
Yes,
now.
because
And which one
Sports
has
betting
not
and
been
betting
implemented
tax.
yet? Which one has not been implemented
betting
yet?
tax.
Ah.
But sports betting and betting tax different here. Then
And what's betting tax?
yeah, sports bet.
J
So
Lotto
it's the
for
same.
So it is the same
No,
agreement.
the lottery wins is even broader than the
Yes.
betting tax.
So the lottery wins encompasses everything within the space.
Yes,
So
And
what
that happened.
they
And
took
then
it.
money was taken.
They took it.
And it happened.
Yes,
Okay.
So why was there
it's way
a lottery
needless.
tax and then betting tax?
What's it?
Why
They are sorry. They say
the two?
they say they are
Yeah,
sorry.
that's. I'm sure that it was why
the
they didn't
confusion now.
collect. I'm sure that's why they didn't implement the betting tax because something was emotion already in 2020.
Emotion already.
So the essence of the is that there was a press
Yeah,
conference?
by the
After
So,
the,
so essence of the press conference is to let us know that what.
no, it was political just to like
down.
water down the impact that the government has reduced betting. I got DBN area politics.
Are they reducing or they are scrapping?
Like water down the impact that they've scrapped the betting tax.
But by so doing, you're also revealing that you.
Where's our Nkofu Bubefu? Because what did Nkofu ska through sports betting?
Okay. All right.
You
Into
will not
betting,
understand boss.
sports betting and betting
you
tax.
will
No,
not
I understand.
Hagla,
it.
yeah,
I
betting,
understand.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, team investors.
Anyway,
Investors is jala.
Anyway, yes. Betway is saying log on right now to betway.com.gh. You have the chance of winning a massive 1 million Ghana City jackpot. As it stands now, no 10% will be deducted. Remember, terms and conditions apply. We're regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more. Well, in this Ghana month, we have a sweet deal with DSTV from now till the 31st day of March. Yatete So, DSTV decoder plus 1 month free Showmax Premier League subscription for viewing on.
This is Hits.